Guys, welcome back to Medical Coding with Blue. Today's episode is all about interview questions and tips for brand new medical coders. If you're brand new to my channel, welcome. I am Blue, I'm a medical coder. Okay guys, so I'm going to talk about some questions that are asked, but these are like general universal questions. But for the most part, this is going to be about interview tips. Because every place is different that you will apply. You will see that there's going to be different places that they're going to have different needs. And of course, they're going to be different specialties and different settings and that kind of thing. So with this in mind, it's very important that you keep your job searches intentional, that you know where you are applying. And by knowing where you're applying, at least having a background idea of the company or of the hospital. How long have they been there and what do you know about them and how big is that facility? What types of specialties do they cover there? That's a very good talking point for when you are being asked questions, because sometimes that is a question. What do you know about us? I've been asked that more than once. And you have to make sure that you are prepared to be able to answer something like that. So I've always made sure that anytime I am going to go on an interview, I at least take a look at the website for that facility, that hospital, that company, and I make sure that I at least know a little bit about them. At least if you know a little bit about them, that's the basis of starting the conversation with these people. Because these people are just as nervous as you are as a brand new medical coder. And yes, there's a lot of rejection in the beginning. But if you're getting to that point where they're willing to give you an interview, even if you feel like maybe they won't hire you because they have like a reputation of only hiring people who have experience and that kind of thing, you never know, number one. You never know. But number two, you can use that interview as practice. So with that in mind, you can start to relax a little bit and say, okay, I'm going to use this experience as practice, and I'm going to be able to practice on my communication skills. Since the pandemic, we've had this break of being with one another and interacting with one another in person, right? So a lot of interviews have been over Zoom or Teams or something else. And so having these virtual interviews has really taken the pressure off of like, oh my gosh, I'm so nervous. They're going to shake my hand. They're going to feel like they're going to feel my hands being all sweaty and that kind of thing. So having the pandemic happened and, doing these virtual interviews, that's taken out that part. But it also makes you have to bring your A game even more, because when you are on camera, something about the camera will bring down your energy level. So sometimes you have to like punch up your energy level. I noticed this about myself. Even as a content creator here on YouTube, I noticed that a lot of times I have to punch up my energy, because sometimes when I feel like, hey, I'm, everything's cool and I'm just going to film this video, and if I'm any bit tired, it'll show whenever I'm filming. So that being said, if you are doing a virtual interview for, whoever you're supposed to meet for these medical coding positions, you want to make sure that you bring your energy level up and that you are always engaged, that you are looking at the little dot where the camera is at, not looking at the screen. Because do you see that? Do you see how that is? I'm looking right at myself talking right now and not looking at the dot. So every time I film, I'm always looking at the dot. It's the same thing when I'm talking to somebody in a Zoom meeting. I will be looking right at the camera and not at myself as I speak, because that gives a person that sense of connection, that you're speaking to them. And it's not just that you're looking off in the distance or you're looking, whatever way. So always make sure that when you're doing this, right, when you're doing this interview, that you are looking right at the camera and not at your screen, okay? But you need to make sure that you are dressed very well. There's going to be questions and tips, so just roll with me. This is how I do things, guys. Make sure that you're dressed well. You are dressed in your Sunday best. Never, ever, 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 ever show up to a interview for medical coding or health information in jeans. I can't believe I have to even say that, but I have to say it. Well, what about dark wash jeans? What did I just say? No jeans. Zero. No jeans. You will be in slacks. You will be in a dress. You will be in a skirt. Something else other than jeans. Jeans are for the rodeo or for being out and doing errands. They are not for interviews. You need to be in your Sunday best, and you need to be in there in something that is presentable. Now, if at the time that you're hired and they say, okay, well, you're working in the facility for a while and we don't care what you wear, then that's something different. But at least when you are meeting them for the first time, you want to show that you are professionally dressed, that you are well groomed and everything, and that you are pleasant as far as your energy goes. And if you're going into an in-person interview, do not wear perfume, ladies. Don't wear perfume. There is nothing worse than being a good candidate on paper, being a good candidate, being able to fill out all the tests right and everything's good and everything's ready to go, and then you show up to the interview and you smell like really strong perfume. That person may have an allergy or they may be an asthmatic, and that's it for you. You're not getting a call back after that because you smell like really strong perfume. And the same thing for guys too. I've had guys where I'm walking and I don't see anybody in the hallway, and there's a cloud of cologne. There's a cloud of perfume, and that is the worst thing on earth when you're at work and you walk into a cloud like that, because that's even a regulation in a lot of places too, is that you cannot have perfume, really strong perfume or really strong cologne, because it's upsetting for the patients. You know, if you're working in the facility, these are the rules that you have to follow. So that is my tip. No jeans, Sunday best, no perfume, no cologne. Okay. Now, of course, you want to make sure that you look and you're groomed and everything is good. But that perfume, that body spray, don't do it, guys. Don't do it. Just be in there and let them remember you for you and your energy and for your skill and your knowledge, not for what you smell like. Okay. That is a very small detail, but a lot of people think that they can overlook this and, oh yeah, no, I'm just going to be in there and I'm going to go in and dark wash jeans and I'll be okay. Nope. Because I've heard from some managers that say, oh no, if somebody walks in like that, oh no. So I'm passing this on to you guys so that you all know. And when they're asking you questions about why do you want this job, they don't want the same rigmarole. They don't want something that is manufactured, that is just basically like a templated response. They want to know, why do you want this position? What is it about medical coding that you like? Speak from your heart. Don't speak from, oh, well, this is just a robotic response that I want to give you. No, they don't want that. They want to know why. They are going to know if you are trying to say something that they want to hear, right? They don't want to know that. They want to know, why do you want this position? What is it about this position that is drawing you to it? They want to feel special. They want to feel special. They want to know that their company is being sought after, and why? Why is it being sought after to work here? Is it something that you are going to be able to learn from this experience? Do you enjoy injury coding if you're applying for the ER? Do you find it fascinating about, just different specialties if you're applying for a specialty place? That's something that you can bring up. And, those are the things that you can say in this interview, because they really want to know that you're genuinely interested in the position that you're applying for. So that's something that you guys need to think about. Rehearse what you're going to say and spend the time with the mirror, guys. If you get really nervous, if you find yourself mumbling, that's a bad sign, guys. You don't want to mumble. You want to be engaged. You don't want to be all leaning back, and even if you're on camera, in a virtual meeting, and just kind of like staring off into space like you're not interested. You need to be leaning forward and you need to be looking at that camera. So that way they know this person is ready and this person wants to be in this position. And again, something that you can talk about when you're in that interview process. You can ask them questions that you need to know, not like, how much leave will I get? How soon can I take leave? It's not about you at that moment. It's about the culture, the work culture. What is the work culture like here? And what are some of those things that, what are some extracurriculars for as far as education? Meaning, do they go to conference? Is it a rotational thing? For some places, they will pay for their employees to go to conference, the national conference for either AHIMA or AAPC. And that's something that you can ask. Is that something that's done here? Okay. And if it is, okay, well, can you tell me about it? And, what is your work situation like? Are you working in an office? Are you embedded in the clinic? Those are questions you can ask. Are you working from a work queue? Or are you assigned a particular clinic? Are you assigned a particular provider? That's the thing that you really need to know. So that I would ask them too. It's not just about the questions that they're going to be able to ask you. It's about the questions you're going to be able to ask them. What is the productivity standards like? What is the accuracy standards like? Those are questions you need to know. And then they're going to say, okay, this person really knows and they're really engaged. Rather than the person, hey, do you have any questions? No, I think we covered everything. No. Stop. If that comes out of your mouth, then it's just like, okay, this is not the person that we need. The person that is going to get that second look is going to be the person that says, okay, what is the accuracy standard like? What is the productivity like? And if there is coaching that is needed, if it is needed, but make sure that you are clear, that you are very independent at doing your research and things like that. You will always do your research before you will go running for help. They need to know that, because if you go in there and you say, well, I've never been a medical coder before, and you're always talking up that you've never been a medical coder before, that's another person that they're not going to call back, because this is a person that needs their hand held. And if they're calling you for this interview, they need somebody. And maybe they're willing to take a chance on somebody new, but they're not willing to take a chance on somebody that needs their hand held. And that's the thing they're going to be looking at when you are in this interview. So keep that in mind, guys. Don't be the person that needs to have their hand held, because there's a lot of helpful resources out there for medical coders that you can look up. There's a ton of them in the description box of all my videos. People ask me all the time. They write in and say, Blue, I need help with this, I need help with that. And all of that can be found in the description box. So it's just like, okay, but that being said, you want to make sure that you are ready with those questions as well, about productivity, about accuracy, about the work queue and the workflow situation. What is that like? Who are you reporting to? Those are very good and key questions. All right. So those are some of the things that I would recommend in the interview process. If you find yourself getting stuck, right, with a question of like, what was a situation where you disagreed in your last position, and what did you do? In those kind of situations, they're looking for you to grow. That's what they're looking for. Not that, you come in there and then they ask you about a situation where you disagreed with a coworker or your boss, and what did you do? And that's not the invitation for you to sit there and talk about how horrible your boss is or how horrible your coworkers are. They want to know, okay, are you able to regulate your emotions, right? Because that's what they're looking for, somebody who can regulate their emotions. And did you learn anything from that? Because everybody is going to have that point of disagreeing with a coworker or disagreeing with your boss. Everybody has that. If you say that you've never had that, that's a lie. that is a lie, because it's human nature, guys. It's human nature. It's going to be where people are going to disagree from time to time. Not everybody's going to show up with a good attitude every day when they come into work. And there's going to be some people that are going to go through hard times in their life, especially if you've been in a place for a while, and they're going to go through hard times. I mean, everybody does. There's a good chance you're always going to be around somebody who's going through some big crisis in their life. And sometimes people can handle it well, and there's other people that, they struggle a little bit to try to handle those things. But again, it's on you and how you react. The only thing that you can control is your response to whatever's going on around you. So questions like that, what did you do when you disagreed? that is looking for a mature response. That is looking for, what did I learn from this experience response? That's what that's looking for. So when you think about that, you know, okay, this is a person who's, you know, really kind of mature and is going to be a good fit for our team. Because remember, when these people are interviewing you, they're looking not just for a good candidate, but they're looking, this a smart medical coder, but they're looking for somebody that's going to be able to get along with the people that's already there, that's in that office, that's in that group. They're going to be looking for that because it's important to them to have that good chemistry. When you have good chemistry with your coworkers, that is the best thing in the world, because that makes going to work all that much more enjoyable, right? It's when you don't have good chemistry and, you know, you come off a little bit abrasive or whatever, that it could be a little bit more of a struggle, right? So that's just something that you have to keep in mind. You want to be yourself during these interviews. Show a little bit of your personality. If they ask you, you know, what are some of your hobbies? What do you do? If you have a pet, you could talk about your pet. If you like to travel, you know, what was the best place that you last visited? Where would you like to go see again? You know, those are just some of the things that they would make about small talk. You know, if you are into fast cars, talk to them about that. You know, being somebody who loves fast cars myself, that's a good icebreaker when you have to deal with providers too, because they kind of look at that as well. How engaging is this person going to be? If you are really shy, don't feel bad and do not feel alone. I am a shy person. I am. I will say that. People think that's not true. They said, Blue, really, your personality on here? My personality on here is the way it is because I'm talking about something that I love and I enjoy this. And so my personality comes out. But if you see me on the street, I am shy. I don't talk to people. I'm not like, hey, how you doing? I'm not running around saying, hey guys, welcome back to Medical Coding with Blue. I'm not doing that in the public, okay? I am just me. I do what I do and then I come home and that's it, you know? So, but, you know, if you are a shy person, you need to look at it like this when you're in these interview processes, right? That you're meeting your close friends. This is what you need to be at in your head, because this is going to put you at ease. If you go in there overthinking and thinking, oh, this person's not going to like me, or this person's they're going to know I don't know anything. If you go in there with that attitude, of course, you're going to sabotage yourself, right? But if you go in there thinking, I'm going to go see an old friend, this is going to be a good experience for me, I'm going to learn something from this, and they're interested in me. So that's why we're going to meet, because they're interested in me. So that should give you a boost of confidence, because not all brand new coders will get those chances to meet, because if you are not getting any calls as a brand new medical coder, there's probably something wrong with your resume. Resumes are your calling card, guys. You have to have a good resume. If you don't have a good resume, you're not going to get a call, okay? That's going to be the first thing that they see. Not that you have a CPC-A or not that you have no experience. Your resume is going to be the first thing that they see. So if your resume is a little lacking, you need to get some help. Get a book. Find somebody who will write it for you. I do resume rewrites. My rate is in the description box below. You can contact me there. But guys, that's going to be the difference of you getting called or not called. Okay. So, but they want to meet you. They want to meet you. So since they want to meet you, oh, I want to sneeze. Since they want to meet you, make sure that you are coming in with that good energy. And even if you are very nervous, they can't see your hands. So if you need to have something in your hand, not clicking your pen, but just something that you can have, and see, I'm talking to you guys. Meanwhile, I'm going like this, because this is drawing out any energy that I have that's really nervous. So you see how my words are coming out very smoothly, and how I am just being, it's just as pleasant as can be. But meanwhile, so you know how like the duck is really calm on the water, but their little feet are going a million miles a minute? It's the same thing that you can do, right? But you will look calm when you are, you know, talking on camera, and you're making eye contact with that with your lens that's, you know, for your camera lens. So that's something that you all can do. It's meant to draw out that nervous energy, so that way you can be, you know, able to communicate during this interview. Guys, interviews are not that bad. I mean, it's just like you're just meeting new friends. And if you never see these people again, that's okay. Because the more interviews you go on, the more that you will start to get used to them, the more that you will start to get comfortable with them. And each time you're going to get better and better. Take the time to practice in front of the mirror. Talk to the mirror about why do you want this position. Don't bring your voice really low. Don't mumble. Don't do things like that. Do not say I'm sorry for anything. Guys, please don't say I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm nervous. I'm sorry. That's the worst thing. If you apologize for something that you're not, I mean, it's no problem, guys, you're just misusing your words, okay? So you want to be able to exude that confidence, and the best way is to stop apologizing. The best way is to make sure that you are very clear with the things that you want. Why do you want this position? Why are you applying at this particular place? Are you fascinated by what we do? And don't make everything a canned response, okay? Don't complain about your previous employer, and make sure that you show up in your Sunday best. And if you are going to an in-person one, leave the perfume off, leave the cologne off, guys, okay? I'm just saying, because you don't want to be remembered as, oh, that's that lady or that's that man with all that perfume or cologne, and oh no, we can't hire them because that's too much of a headache. Guys, I'm just saying. So that's my advice for today. I'm about to run out of time, so but I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this one up. If you're out there, guys, in this interview job seeking process time, it does take a little time, but it's not forever, okay? So just think of it like that. Enjoy the experience. Learn what you can from it, because this time is only going to be just a little speck of time compared to the rest of your career, okay? So that's something that you can look forward to at least. At least this is my advice anyway. So if this video helped you, I hope that you will like, subscribe, and share, and I will see y'all next time. Bye.